Suppose you showed up Sunday, sing songs to your Savior, found the parking spaces filled with folks red-faced and angry, with homemade signs pining, children must be saved, 'cause your youth group leaders prey on them, and you feel afraid. Now the place you thought would still be safe no longer feels like home, and you understand they don't believe. Why can't they just leave you alone? Oh, have I ever had this nightmare where my heart keeps breaking but I can't wake, and it's taking all I got not to fight them. Down on my knees, crying out, please, Lord, release us. We've surveyed your rugged cross. Don't do us like Jesus. Suppose some senators decide your worship is obscene. All ages Sunday service suddenly is a felony, and you're not sure if it's safe to wear a cross or pause to pray. Do you teach your kids in secret? Do you tell them to be brave? Do you risk losing your children to expose them to the faith? Do you cry in pace and anger? Plead amazing grace. Oh, have I ever had that nightmare where my heart keeps breaking but I can't wake, and it's taking all I got not to fight them. Down on my knees, crying out, please, Lord, release us. We've surveyed your rugged cross. Don't do us like Jesus. There's gotta be a way where we can now be free. I promise not to tread on you if you won't tread on me. Yeah! Can you wake me from this nightmare? Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Adeem, nice to see you again.
I think the
last time we had you on the show was about a year ago, a little over a year ago.
Just
after the release of White Trash Revelry. You know, that's it was met with a lot of critical acclaim. A lot of people are starting to know the name Adeem the Artist, but I want to talk a little bit about Adeem the person.
Oh, yeah.
For the past year, I know there's been a lot of change in your career, and I'm just curious how that has been reflected in your life. How is life different these days compared to a year ago when we last spoke?
Well, I've been door dashing a lot more you scenes.
Yeah, that's good. You can't go wrong with that. Is that yeah, everything else is the same?
Everything else is pretty similar, but there's been a lot more door dashing you scenes.
Yeah.
No, we travel a lot more now. It's been really strange getting used to a very hectic schedule. Just palling around with my heroes all the time. I mean, it's weird.
Well,
yeah.
You know, you talked about traveling, and I know the name of this album, Anniversary.
Yeah.
I don't know, coincidentally, not coincidentally, it's tied to your wedding anniversary, right?
Yeah, it's coming out on our 10-year anniversary.
So what has it been like? I know, obviously, traveling a lot, you know, being able to take your wife and kid along on this journey. I saw the music video for Socialite Blues. She appears in that. What has that been like to have them there alongside you?
It's great. It's great. Yeah, we're learning how to do it better, slowly but surely. It's been a clumsy process. I've taken some real good fists to the gut when the kid is underslept and the merch line is going a little long. But yeah, it's been really nice. We go to a lot of discovery centers and like kid zone stuff in other cities. Yeah. You know, it's
which is fun for adults sometimes too.
It is cool. Yeah, I'm learning stuff. I just watched a documentary about the web satellite. You know about this?
The Webb satellite?
Yeah, it's got this big satellite, the James Webb. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, well,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I have no clue what you're talking about, honestly. Webb satellite.
They built this giant satellite. It's a telescope. It's a telescope. It's the biggest telescope they've ever made.
Yeah.
And they're sending it out to the furthest reaches of our galaxy. They're trying to find where the Big Bang happened. They're trying to find evidence of it and what debris is still remaining so they can try to piece together more of the story of our universe. It's really
same thing you're trying to do through music. Right?
Yeah. I'm mostly trying to buy the super family-sized box of Fruit Loops instead of the regular size one.
There you go. Well, I wanted to ask too about the last album when we talked a little bit about how it kind of came out of nowhere, the success and the acclaim.
Yeah.
And I don't mean this in any type of negative way. There weren't expectations that anything would happen with that album, I don't think.
No, not at all.
And now they have happened, and now you're releasing a second album. And I'm just curious how that comes into play, the idea of expectations and having already found success on one album when trying to go back and write new songs. I'm not sure if these are songs that have been freshly written or if these are ones that you've had in the bag for a while, but what's it like now to record an album knowing that you have such a strong fan base and people behind you, and how does that affect the writing?
Yeah, it's weird. It is weird to think about people knowing that I'm going to be releasing an album and caring what it sounds like. You know what I mean? Like people are going to listen to it. But I got to work, Butch Walker. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
A little bit, yeah. And I read up on him whenever I was reading about your album.
I mean, he's produced some of my favorite records, and Sycamore Meadows is an album of his. He's got a lot of really great albums, but that's my personal favorite. And I grew up, like as a teenager, like blasting that record on back roads, and so it kind of happened by accident. I got together with him, kind of feel out if we could ever work together. And he had dates available, and was like, I'd be down to do a record. So it kind of was like, I think I sent him probably 30 songs, some that had gotten thrown away and trashed, and I just thought, never going to do anything with these. Some that were like half written, stuff that I was processing newly, and just kind of culled it down and then let it take the shape that it took and find the story and the collection of songs as we went. I mean, to be honest, a lot of the projects that I had in my mind that I'm really excited to get to work on are a little more labor intrusive. They're like very comprehensive records that are going to require a lot of more research than I had time to do in the window that we were given. Mm-hmm. And so I ended up with this collection that was kind of a bunch of deeply personal tunes about my family, about learning how to balance your time, about the pandemic shifted so many things for so many people. Yeah.
How does research go into songwriting?
Oh yeah, I think research is really important. If I'm going to write about something, I like to really immerse myself in it as much as I can. I mean, I write a lot about Knoxville, but I know a lot about Knoxville. I know a lot about the history here. I find the history really fascinating. And I think, one of the things that is part of the work that I do in my personal life is looking at the stories that I was born into that started before me and go on after me. And so when I get into music, and especially finding myself as that was a magic spell.
Yeah, what was that? That's awesome.
That's a magic spell that fell in my pocket.
That should be a game. What's in your pockets? That'd be fun.
This is my kid made this.
That's awesome. What is it? Is it
It's some kind of a sprinkler. Yeah, it's got some glitter. Anyways, yeah, I think, there are people who will tell you that you need to write songs every day and that's the work, is disciplining yourself to write songs. But I feel very strongly that if you're doing it right, then you don't need to write songs every day. You need to treat everything you do like part of the work. And so I live a lifestyle of being a songwriter, and I feel like there's research in the films that I watch and the books that I read and the walks that I take and the music that I listen to. So like with this one, I did a lot of A lot of intentional listening. I listen to a lot of blues, Piedmont blues artists like Blind Boy Fuller and Brownie McGee. I'm really intentional about what I'm listening to when I'm writing for a project. And I really want to talk about the history of violence as pertains to indigenous peoples in America and stuff like that. So there'll be a lot of reading and local research as far as like that goes. And that's what I mean when I say it. But I find it really interesting to think about the culture, what the culture needs, what narrative voices need to be happening in the culture to interface with both the bad and the good of the histories that we have kind of playing out here. And I also think that like just really thinking about what kind of medicine, I mean, I think that's the ethos of everything I do, is what kind of medicine needs to be made. And from a cultural standpoint, I think that comes down to issues of like finding new ways to give voice to the severity of our history of racial violence so that we can find pathways forward to more equitable expressions of community. But on a personal level, it also means talking about addiction and loss and the opioid epidemic and things like that. All of it comes back to like, how do I take a medicinal view of the world where, or a medicinal view of art where I'm really imagining like what are the practical ways that art can help improve the quality of lives of people. You know?
Awesome. Well, I would love to hear another song, a new one if you got one.
Yeah, let's do it. There's we live in North Knoxville, which is not far from where we're recording right now. And we've got a pretty good peach tree in the yard and a couple blueberry bushes. And the wild violet grows manically in the backyard. I don't know what we've done to get the good graces of whatever Sprite has granted us this. Isley's in the backyard. Nope. That's the second verse. We're gonna clean it up. Isley Dale is balanced, flexing talent on a chair. Looks at me in between locks of golden hair, improvising wordless harmonies to all my songs. Grabs a ukulele and begins to strum along. I know it goes fast. Everybody says that. It's just a thing you're supposed to say. But it's real, and you can't know how it feels until you're well on your way. How many rotations am I gonna get with you to share with you the wisdom, foolishness I have accrued, all the laughter and the longing, writing down and not recalling, bad jokes and silly drawings on any misadventure that you choose. When I'm gone, carry on, there is left of me with you. Now Isley's in the backyard, a fist of dandelion, mixing magic spells in mason jars, mint and wild violet. Were that I could trap that laughter in a vial around my neck, save it for the hard times so that I could savor it. 'Cause I know it goes fast. Everybody says that. It's on every fellow parent's lips. But it's true, and it's coming fast for you. That sweet and beautiful eclipse. How many rotations am I gonna get with you to share with you the wisdom, magic spells I have accrued? How many breakfasts before sunset? How many songs you haven't heard yet? Only so long until I forget who I am and what I do. When I'm gone, you carry on, carry all there is left of me with you. And I know that you are not me. I can never ask you to be. You are more than I could honestly ever have expected to be true. When I'm gone, you carry on and carry all there is left of me with you.
Well, last time I talked to you as well, we had talked about Knoxville,
Yeah.
Nashville, and Pittsburgh, I believe, even. And so I'm just curious, I know you were, like a lot of artists, were pulled into that Nashville scene a little bit, and we're talking with me about sort of where Knoxville fits in to your identity and sort of how you identify with Knoxville. A year later, what is your view of Knoxville? How is that part of your life?
I tell you, last time I said something about moving to Pittsburgh, and I got so many goddamn texts from people who were like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I was like, I mean, it's open-ended. Anyway.
Yeah, I can move.
I'm not moving anywhere, so I'll say that. I mean, Knoxville's it's like a home for me, It's been a home for me for a long time, and there are things that I think. I mean, I talk about some pretty complicated Knoxville history on this album. I think there's something to be said about loving a place enough to ask it to do better and be better, and I think that Knoxville is. I don't know. It's a scruffy town, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, it was awesome to see you showing some local love to Marie's
Oh,
on the
yeah.
Socialite Blues music video. You want to talk a little bit about that music video and how Marie's was chosen? I'm sure there's a story in there, some Marie's stories in
man.
there somewhere. It's always could always be a wild time, the night at Marie's.
I love Marie's. It was great. We had a lot of fun and some cool cameos. City Councilwoman Amelia Parker was in it. Lisa, who owns the Bird in the Book out in Maryville, was in it. Flamey Grant, Jay Nations from Raven Records. We had just such a cool cast of celebrities. They came in and joined in for it. But who hasn't spent a smoky evening at Marie's singing along to a Savage Garden B-side? I know I have.
We're gonna get Adeem the Artist songs on the karaoke machine soon.
Yeah, I'll work
That'd be
on
cool.
that. That's
Yeah.
not a bad idea.
Well, I wanted to ask too. I mean, Marie's is one of those. You mentioned we're a scruffy city. It's one of those places that are really keeping that scruffy culture alive. I feel like over at Marie's, but people might be interested. I mean, you talked about some business owners and local people here that make cameos. What are some of the places that you're hanging out these days? What are some of your favorite Knoxville spots that you keep finding yourself back at, aside from Marie's? It sounds like.
Yeah, I love Marie's. I love Corner Lounge. I really like Potchki. I go to Potchki probably 6 days a week.
You were telling me about that PB&J.
The Babka?
Yeah.
Oh, out of this world.
Yeah.
And then Coffee and Chocolate I go to quite a bit, actually.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you ever
You
go.
can find us at my first date with my wife was at Coffee and Chocolate.
Oh, man.
So.
If you can find a seat, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I like to
great.
go in there and I go on a walk around downtown. That's like the spot. I give me a little chocolate, give me a little cortado. It's gone by the time I've taken in all the sights of Market Square, especially around Christmas time when they got the little Christmas trees and little snowmen.
Yeah, so cute.
Yeah, I like that spot a lot. What I could do this all day. Yassine's, obviously. I put back some chicken shawarma like you wouldn't believe.
The baba ganoush is a hit.
Oof.
Yeah.
And senior taco too. Actually, I eat a senior taco in Yassine's. I kind of vacillate between those two a lot.
Nice. Yeah. The talking about local restaurants now, but local artists as well. It seems like the Knoxville music scene. I've been part of of judging a Battle of the Bands contest that I thought was going to be a few weeks that I've been judging since October. So I've seen a lot of local music over the past few months. So I know there's some artists that I'm really excited about, but just thinking about, and maybe this ties in with research too, and maybe it's a two-part question. When you talk about being intentional with what you're listening to, I'd be interested in hearing some of those artists that you're talking about, but also if any of those are local or just local artists that you're really excited about right now coming out of Knoxville.
Yeah. Let me think about it. I mean, Rika Chicha is a favorite of mine. Andy and I have collaborated in the past, and hopefully we'll do more of that. Jack, J-A-Q, Jack Honey. Do you know Jack?
I don't know. J-A-Q,
Oh
you said?
man, yeah. Jack Honey is one of my favorite songwriters probably right now. Joey English also has a new album coming out that's really great, really lovely. Joey's always been a fantastic songwriter. What else have I been listening? Oh, I got Brandy Augustus is going to be at the release show there.
Oh, yeah.
Brandy's a comedian and she's on TikTok and all that.
Yeah, I think I've seen her perform before. Maybe over at Central Cinema, another good.
That makes sense.
Another good
Yeah,
spot.
yeah.
As I say, you mentioned a lot of North Knoxville spots in there.
Yeah. I don't go far from home.
Well,
Wild Love pastry tarts and.
yeah, I mean, when it's all that close to you, why?
Yeah.
Just might as well stick around, what you know, what you love. I know you talked about, he's one of your favorite songwriters right now, and I know a lot of people are throwing you in that category. It seems like, I mean, you've gotten a lot of praise from people like Jason Isbell, opening up shows for Jason Isbell. I'm curious if there's any with this. I don't know what to call it. I mean, it's not newfound fame, I guess. I mean, what has that been like? Has there been any and just any cool like tour stories that you can share about sharing the road and sharing the stage with some of these musicians that sounds like you've looked up to and are now on the same playing field as?
Yeah. So I got to go on tour last year with the Mountain Goats.
Yeah.
My favorite band of all time, and John Darnielle is a phenomenal songwriter, a creative genius, and a slightly neurotic guy. And we were on the road, and I decided, the truth of it is I ran out of shirts that were clean.
Okay.
Yeah, I do this a lot. And so I swiped a shirt from Mountain Goat's table. I thought, I'll wear one of these tonight. So I was going to introduce the set by saying, figured I'd put to rest the debate over whether or not you could wear the band's t-shirt to the band's concert by wearing it to open for the band.
Yeah.
And so I showed John Darnielle. We ran into each other in the green room, and I was like, JD, check it out. I'm wearing a shirt. And he was like, yeah, it's actually taboo in rock culture to wear the band's shirt to the show. And I was like, yeah, no, I know. I know. Just slowly zipping my jacket up. And so then I got to do this Cayamo. Have you heard of this? It's like a cruise thing.
Oh, yeah,
it's like an Americana cruise. And
I saw you had a little tummy troubles.
I'm always having tummy troubles. That's my brand.
I mean, I wasn't going to bring it up.
I'm normalizing
IBS,
on one green room story at a time. So I did this Cayamo thing, and I, believe it or not, Ryan, I ran out of T-shirts again while I was on this cruise.
Can I ask you real quick, though, on tour, how many wears classifies it as dirty? I think you can get a few.
We're talking about like 6 days in a row.
6 to 8 days.
Yeah. It gets pretty stinky. It's like I should probably pull off.
I can smell it, but people around me, we probably got one more day of people around.
It's not good. And so I went up and I bought this Maverick shirt. I'm actually wearing it. I bought this beautiful shirt by the Mavericks, who were an incredible band. You know the Mavericks, they're like a legacy rock band, they're great. And I come down to the artist area after I've put my new shirt on, and I walk in, and Jerry Dale from the Mavericks is at a table with all the other guys, and he's like, Adeem, come over here. So I walk over, and he's like, we liked your set. We want to hang out later on. We're throwing a party. You should come. And I'm wearing this shirt. And in my head, the entire time, I'm just hearing like John Darnielle's voice in my head, like, it's actually taboo to wear the band. It's like,
that's great.
Oh my! So I went to this party with the Mavericks, and I had to go change my shirt. I wore a dirty shirt.
Well,
wore a dirty shirt to the Mavericks party.
That's okay. It happens. The Mavericks are not here, so you're good to play another song. No taboo.
Yes.
You want to do another one? Another new
Yeah,
one?
I'll do one more. Yeah,
Okay,
that'd be great.
That'd be great.
This is I stole this from Blind Boy Fuller, who was one of my favorite songwriters. But he was kind of a teacher to this guy Brownie McGee, and Brownie McGee's one of the best to do the Piedmont blues, and actually born in Knoxville. He's a Knoxville cat, which is weird. We don't hear about him more because he's a legend. This is a love song for all the introverts out there. Sit down there on the sofa now, baby. Pour yourself a glass of Cab Sav too. I found some Eddie Baker records at a lawn sale, and I'd like to play them for you. If I catch you humming along, even if you're getting the melody wrong, I still wanna stay up all night long, making out of 10 songs with you. He was interfacing with an awful lot of people this week, and I'm sure your battery is low, so we don't have to talk or even look at one another. We can take tonight quiet and slow, but if I catch you humming along, and you bet your pretty eyelashes and yawn, oh honey, I'm about to just keep carrying on, making out of 10 songs with you. You just settle in and get comfortable now. Let me massage your feet for a few. You just breathe and let Miss Reed speed my picking. Wash away them socialite blues. But if I catch you humming along, and besides Banty with no makeup on, good God, I might stay up till the break of dawn, making out of 10 songs with you. That solo was improvised, believe it or not. I hadn't rehearsed that. Thanks, everybody. Sorry for interrupting your workday.
Well, the horns was interesting. I heard that song. First time I'd heard you play, I think, was on the podcast, which is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the first time I heard you play was during the pandemic on the Sofa Soiree. That was the first time, the Second Bell Sofa Soiree. And then, I've seen you at Big Ears, I've seen you play some other places, but it wasn't until Barley's that I finally got to see a full band set.
That was a great show.
It was an awesome show. How, with the show coming up at the Bijou, is that going to be a full band set as well? Is it just going to be you up there, or what can people expect from that?
Yeah, we got a 5-piece band. It'll be the same band from the Barley show. We got Cecilia Wright with us playing cello this time, and Seth Hopper on fiddle. Seth was in Christabel and the Johns, and Cecilia played with Tyler long violent history and tours with Sonora May, and also hosts Pass the Mic with the Tennessee Theater, which is a competing podcast. So I don't know if you guys want to edit that out.
No, we love it. Yeah, keep it in there.
I'm trying to start a rivalry between the Knoxville News Sentinel and the Tennessee Theater.
You talked a lot about research and taking experiences from the past and using those and bringing them into song. Obviously, this past year has been a whole new chapter, it seems like, of your life. I'm curious just what you've learned about Adeem the person. We've talked about that at the beginning. That's kind of how we started out, how you've been doing. But what is just, being on the road and, having people showing up, there it went again, the magic potion.
How's it happening?
Having people, show up for you, knowing your music before they even get there. All of that combined, what have you learned about yourself, would you say, through this whole process over the past year?
It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Wayne White has a documentary called Beauty is Embarrassing that I think has rung really true for me in the past year. It's kind of like it's like your birthday party all the time, And at some point it's like, I don't really want it to be my birthday party anymore. I think I've had my fill of attention now, thank you. So that's been tough to get used to. But it's nice. I really like driving around. I really like going on adventures. I really like meeting people. I really like trying to practice care for people that I struggle with understanding. I really like getting to play music with people in real time and getting to learn about people's stories and stuff. So in a lot of ways, I really kind of get to live the dream right now. A lot of things that I would want to be doing anyway are kind of part of the job that I have now. I own the record label, Four Quarters Records, so me and my friend Steph Cabell personally put together all the packages, we print all the labels, we put everything together, and that's a labor that I really find a lot of reward in doing. Labor is a starting point for everything that I do personally. It's funny getting into where I've got this team of people and they're always like, well, you could stop sending records out and then you have more time to write songs. And it's like, I'd rather send these records out than write songs.
Well, it's all part of living a genuine life and research, and even those.
Yeah,
things, right?
yeah. Well, I don't know. Sometimes just having something for your hands to do for the day is good. It's good for you. But yeah, I do think I really believe in small community. I think small community is really important. I think that really honing in on the world around you and small ways in which you can make life better for everyone around you and is it. That's all there is. I think the bigger the landscape, the harder it is to brush your teeth in the morning.
Yeah. Well, back to the show. Bijou, May 10th.
Yeah.
Right? So by the time this publishes, album will already be out. You can get it on all your streaming, but you should purchase it as well. Get that physical copy in your hand. What can people expect from the show?
It's going to be weird. It's going to be really good. I'm going to really show out. I'm gonna do a flip. I've got a flip planned. We'll probably have some small pyrotechnic stuff going on.
Awesome.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have a tiger.
Do you still have that thing?
I still have that thing.
Tickets as of right now are still available, but who knows, by the time this publishes, they may not be, so make sure.
They're flying off the shelf. Better go get one while you can. Buy one for your mom, too.
If people want to keep up with all the shows that you got going on, new music, everything like that, what's the best way for people to just stay in touch with Adeem the Artist?
Yeah, I'm on adeemtheartist.com or www.goingtohell.info.
Awesome. That should be easy to remember. Adeem, thanks for joining us again.
Thanks for having
always
me
a pleasure
on here.
to talk to you.
Yeah, I
Hopefully
appreciate you.
Do it again soon.
Look forward to it. Thanks,
awesome.
Fred.
Thank you.